There you
Okay.
go.
Now,
So this is the meeting of the July 18th Flood and Erosion Control Board. Present are Becky Bunnell, Chair, and if you could go around and say who else is here, please. Thank you.
Don Lamberti, Vice Chair.
Dick Mahusky, Secretary.
Drew O'Brien,
Peter
Recording
Wiswell.
Secretary.
I'm sorry, Peter Wiswell, member.
Okay, so the first order of business is a review and approval of the June 20th meeting minutes. Does anyone have any comments or edits that they would like to propose?
No. Not I.
I certainly have no comments because I had the pencil.
Because you wrote them. All right, then do I have a motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll second. This is Dick.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so approved. All right, the next order of business. Since I am driving, I do not have it in front of me. Can someone read out what the next order of business is, please?
Discussion on item number 3, discussion on evolving plans for Penfield Pavilion and neighborhood flood mitigation measures.
All right. Well, the good news is that there is a meeting set up on this coming Friday at 11 o'clock, and the objective of that meeting is to discuss the scope of work for the Penfield Resilience Study with the town and with RACE. So we've prepared a document that we will be sending, and I had meant to send it out to this group before, but then I got in a car. So I will send it out after this, and if anyone has any comments, if they could get back to us, that would be great, because we'd like to give it to RACE prior to the meeting. But we're proposing 8 different potential mitigation scenarios that we want them to consider as part of the project. Then presumably the project would kick off. They would develop a series of, they would extend their modeling a little bit beyond just the Penfield site. Then they would develop some design scenarios that we think would be permitted. We would then set up a meeting with DEEP and possibly FEMA, review the design scenarios, and they would guide us into which ones they would be most likely to permit. And then our proposal is that we flesh out those 2 to 3 that seem the highest probability, flesh out the designs a little bit further, and then do some costing. So that's the plan at this point. We will review that with the, obviously with the town and the RACE in the scope meeting, but hopefully everyone will agree to that plan. Any
Sounds good.
questions or builds?
And that's this Friday you're going to have the meeting?
Yeah, and we have to keep it we have to keep it to just probably Dick and myself so that we don't end up having a quorum and then have to be at a noticed meeting.
Yeah, and we'll just feed back to the group.
Yeah.
Okay, the next agenda item is
item number 4, review status of items on the project list. So the latest update we have is basically from last month, because Bill Hurley was on vacation for like 2 weeks, I think. So I don't think there's really anything worthy of note on this. It's the same circumstances. Don observed RACE around town, and we know that they have the order to do the tide gate study.
They were near the entrance of Pine Creek the other day, standing down there by the water.
And the only other thing, Bill, this goes back to June 26th, where Bill made a comment. We do have an RFP for Reef Road and Pine Creek Channel surveying. Upon award, I'll see if I can piggyback on survey for Fairfield Beach Road and find out where funding is coming from. Otherwise, I'll have to perform another RFP and obtain funding. So, but Fairfield Beach Road, he's talking about out on the peninsula because that's a long hanging project to get real elevations of the roadway there.
Right.
With the ultimate objective to raise the roadway or in some other means mitigate the sunny day flooding that the people on the peninsula see. So I have nothing else on the project list. Becky, you have any other updates worthy of note?
And not really, no. We did not get as you mentioned, we didn't get a update from Bill because he was on vacation. So we will have a more thorough update in next month's call.
Okay, so on to item number 5 is update on initiating a stormwater authority and inland flooding in view of the increasing severity of rain events in the New England region. Putting this on our agenda was prompted by the recent over the July 4th weekend, the experience of Sunil, who, and his last name I will not butcher, so I'll just call him Sunil, who lives at 78 Edgewood Place. So Sunil wrote to Bill Hurley. Bill Hurley subsequently spoke with him before Bill went on vacation, and the circumstance is the road has a low point on Edgewood Place, and it drains coming down from Toilsome Hill and Jackman Avenue area, and it all comes down to that low spot. There are catch basins at that low spot, but the piping is either partially clogged or undersized for the rate of rain that comes down during some of these rain bombs. So I'll just read what Bill wrote to Sunil yesterday, July 17th. Sunil, thank you for providing these videos. These are helpful. Adding catch basins might not be the issue. It may be a pipe capacity problem. Most of the neighborhood was wetland depression before development, so water naturally wants to collect at those spots. Unfortunately, we can't just increase pipe sizes. It will add to flooding downstream, but there are some potential solutions we are investigating. I have requested the Public Works Department to put on contractor cleaning lists just in case of potential partial blockage. Water does recede, so it's not a total blockage. The pipe system under the center of the road collects from Northwood and portions of Edgewood and Jackman. Those are road names, as intended. Unfortunately, these pipes were sized for 1930s storms and not for today's storms. It will involve a balance and quite a few design investigations. Ideally, we will implement phased improvements. I am looking into potential pipe size increases for short sections, replacing the existing 2 catch basins with new basins, providing there are no utility conflicts, and potentially looking into adding catch basins, if helpful, and in the best location. We may also require detention area easements by property owners if we do enlarge pipes to minimize impacts downstream. This will not be a short-term solve-all solution. As mentioned, we will take steps for some improvements. And then Sunil wrote back to Bill, thank you for taking the time to visit and for your email. I fully understand that water naturally wants to collect at certain points and that we are up against a multifaceted challenge. I look forward to seeing how the plans develop. Please let me know if I can be of any use to you as you collect the relevant data. So, and I brought up the Stormwater Authority because we had sent a letter to the Board of Selectmen recommending that the town establish a Stormwater Authority that was allowed in the, what was it? Public Act 21-115, I think it was 2021. It was made law. So that we have gotten no response on that. So I don't know where that stands. But the whole point of that is that the Stormwater Authority is to develop a fund with money in it so that things like localized flooding situations can be addressed by investigating, designing, and implementing improvements to the stormwater conveyance system. So with that, Tracy Fleet is with us here.
Yeah.
Would you like to just say a word? I mean,
So
that
we-
sounds like the topic that you're
Yeah.
interested in.
Yeah, so I live at 781 Valley Road in Fairfield, which is close to Folsom there. And the road that was built right by my house was built in 1929. And obviously, the water can't get through fast enough. It's too small, and it backs up in my yard. So I've been flooded.
Now, the water can't get through, that's an open stream, it's an open stream bed there?
Yeah.
Or this is where it goes under the road?
Under the road, yes, under the road. Built in 19.
Is this right
Right on.
right before the road splits and there's the stream in the middle of two roads? One road
Yeah.
goes one way, one road goes the other way?
Right, no, it's a little bit farther, because I'm at Wilson in Fairfield, so,
I was just gonna say, which part of Valley is it?
yeah, so right there at Wilson and Valley, I'm right on the corner. And that corner is where the water gets stopped, and so I flood. And like, I flooded July 3rd, I flooded July 4th, both days.
The water gets stopped as it's trying to go under the bridge?
Right, it can't go under the bridge.
That bridge is on Wilson Street, is that?
It's on, Wilson, yes.
Okay.
It's on the Wilson Street. And I'm on Valley, so I'm right at that corner. So it gets stopped, and of course, I flood. And so every time it rains now, I'm like afraid that it's gonna flood.
Did you happen to look in the culvert? Is it blocked in any way, or is it?
It's not blocked.
Wide open?
It's
It's just too small?
It's just too
Yeah,
small.
see, again, the stormwater authority, because we have that type of situation in many areas in town.
Right, and it's, it's very scary because I don't know what to do. I mean, I've done it myself, and it's very hard. So, every time that it rains, I gotta
Yeah.
be afraid that the water's gonna, because on September 1st, 2021, when we had that big storm.
Right.
I flooded, like total. I had at least a foot of water in my basement, and my whole yard had, but, I mean, it had to come up high
Okay, I'm on the phone. I took it into my phone.
to get to my house, but it's still flooded, and like on the third and the fourth, it was close to my house, 5 feet away from my house.
Okay.
That's how much it flooded those 2 days. Oh my God. That's why I'm like, oh.
Does the water go onto the roadway on Wilson Street and Valley Road?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and people try to drive through there, and they've gotten stuck in there. Yeah.
Is this something new or has it been going on for years?
Well, I've only been there 2 years as of this month, and ever since I've been there, this is,
Yeah, when the heavy
I
rain.
flooded
Yeah.
5 days after I moved in, and then flooded again, and, it just keeps on happening.
Do you own the property or?
I do, I own the property.
When you just, for my information, when you bought the property, did the realtors or anybody suggest that the property is in a floodplain?
No, that's the thing.
Do you have
the
flood,
builder.
do you have flood insurance?
I do. I
Okay.
do. I have to have flood insurance there.
Which would suggest that it's in a floodplain.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You started to say, did you buy it directly from a builder and
I
no
bought it from a builder, and the builder never gave any information.
no realtor was involved?
Yeah, no.
Is it a new
They
house?
didn't say anything.
Is it a new house or was it renovated by the
No, it
builder?
was renovated,
By
yeah.
the builder?
Right, and they didn't say anything.
So the builder
Had
bought
I
the
known-
property, fixed it up and sold it to you?
Yeah. Yeah, and had I known.
And said, there you go, Tracy, have a nice life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, all I can tell you is, as you see, we do have a dialogue going through, engineering, and then through engineering to Public Works to look at these situations. So I'll get this in front of Bill Hurley and see what's involved, but again, there's many I know it's no comfort to you, but there's many like situations
Right,
in
of
town
course,
that
of
are
course.
just
I
backs
know, I'm
up.
not alone,
Yeah, but there's little comfort in that when your basement's flooding, so.
I know.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming, and thanks for bringing it
Okay.
to our
I
attention.
need to. And the other thing is the size of where I live is all eroding, and that's the other thing. So a tree has fallen last month, fell.
Is that on your
There's
property
quite a
or
bit,
town property?
No, I don't think there's any town property, I think it's all our property.
Your personal property.
So the tree fell because it's eroding, and now they're in danger of another tree falling because it's eroding again. Like,
Okay.
it's so bad there, like it keeps watching.
Yeah.
Like there's no stone left from where, if you look along the river, you see all the stone, there's none on my side.
Does the river bend there at all?
It bends a little bit, yeah. It bends a little bit, and then it comes to like a,
It comes down the hill from Park Avenue, that's Park
Right,
Avenue.
yeah.
Comes down the hill from Park Avenue, and then bends a little bit
Yeah.
and goes under Wilson Street and continues along Valley
Right.
Road.
yeah, so right there. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to protect it, so I'm like, I don't know if there's something I can do, or,
First you have to get engineering out to look at it. Do some kind of inspection, I think.
I did go to engineering, not last week, the week before, because I didn't know. I did go to engineering, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went to engineering, and I told them,
And who'd you speak with?
it was Scott Lehman.
Okay, so
But-
Scott's the surveyor
Right.
in town.
Yeah, I talked to
Okay.
him and told him. But he said that I have to go through Megan because they got a, large-scale floodway study being performed by the town of Fairfield. So, some person by the name
Mega.
of Megan.
Mega?
No, I'm large-scale flood study. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. Did we go on the,
Megan
let me
Is
just,
that the
Yeah,
Mega-
you're right, Mega Jane is an engineer.
Is that the Rooster
Oh.
River project?
She works for Bill Hurley.
it could be.
I have no idea. I
Sounds
have no
like
idea.
Rooster River project.
Well, Rooster River project is it is what it is.
Yeah.
How did you characterize what Scott said? There's a large,
large-scale floodway study being performed by the town of Fairfield.
Becky, are you still on? Becky?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Jesus.
Uh-oh.
This thing times out, it's a pain.
Have any of your neighbors ever complained in the past?
Well, the neighbor behind me, he.
Becky, are you
also-
still on?
The neighbor,
She's
I am, but I'm about to jump off, so I'm gonna actually, jump off at this
Have you-
point.
Have you been listening to what Tracy's been saying?
Yeah, Tracy, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We will, as Dick said, talk to engineering and see if we can address it.
So she's speaking with Scott Lemon, and Scott says you'll have to talk to Mega because there's a large-scale floodway study going on in town. What would that refer to?
It might be just they're reviewing storm drains.
I have no idea.
I think they, you know what, let's find out.
Well, we will. Not tonight, but we will.
Not tonight, but let's, yeah, I know that, they've got a master plan to sort of redo partial storm grades on sort of, a rolling basis. That's, one section here, one section there. So it may be that that's the master study they're talking about, but maybe that's not it. In which case, let's find out.
Because in Bill's absence, Mega got Anthony involved. Anthony's another of the new engineers. And when I was talking to Bill on Monday, I said, Anthony got me some good information about the Edgewood Place job, and you should make him the stormwater authority maven, so he could take all of these things and categorize them and update the drawings of all the storm drains. And Bill said, yeah, well, I don't know, but my point there is that he might have said, yeah, well, I do have Anthony, Mega, somebody doing work on that because we're trying to study all of our situations in town. So we'll get more into
We'll
that.
follow up.
Thank you for bringing all of that to our attention. It's news
Yes.
to us.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to jump off now, so if you
Okay, Peter-
if you
Peter
could
still on?
continue to run it, just finish running the agenda items, I will catch up later. Thanks.
Bye, Becky.
Bye.
Yeah, Peter's still on.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, Tracy, anything else? Any other little tidbits that you'd like to?
Well, no, I just don't know what to do, and that's why, I have to come and learn, because I don't know, like, how to stop it eroding, because it's getting bad,
Yeah.
and and the water is like.
It's like
just
a
so
stream back there, and the water in the stream is eroding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, so I just don't know what to do, so I'm like, I gotta have to come and get help.
I don't want you to say that for public record.
Oh,
Could you
okay.
share that with me so I could give you a call and
Oh, sure.
maybe make an appointment to come out there and just eyeball the whole thing?
Sure.
Okay,
Oh, that'd
thank
be
you.
great. Yeah, because even today, it's.
Yeah, this afternoon, that was
Right.
a
yeah,
good one.
it was a good storm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some follow-up to do on that, and we'll call it, the topic will be Stormwater Authority. Maybe we can sneak up on something like that. So we have some money to help private property owners. Because see, that's the thing, if that stream is on your property, it's like your problem,
Right.
It's not owned by the town.
No.
But having said that, the town should assist all of the residents where possible with
It seems
figuring out what to do.
It's where the water can't get down
Yeah,
by the street.
understand.
That's where it's backing up.
But even the erosion problem has to do with the creek bed itself. Because
Right.
when it backs up and the water's not flowing as quickly, there's less erosion. The erosion happens when the water's flowing by it quickly and taking the dirt away
Oh, yeah.
from the
it
stream
flows
bank,
back
so.
there.
Okay, all right, we'll follow up on that, and I will keep you informed
Okay.
as to what
Oh,
we're
perfect.
doing,
Thank you.
okay? Thank you. Item number 6, discuss status of coastal resiliency initiative study, adding Ts to our existing groins and the current FEMA coastal erosion and sea level rise study. So I sent around an article from Stormwater Magazine that talked about the Sill Dune project at Fenwick on the Hepburn property, and that's what we're trying to identify as a method to assist in mitigating the erosion along the peninsula. So where that's going, I don't know. Peter, are you still working on trying to get a cost for the groins and understand what that is? Because last time we talked about, okay, if we have a 200-foot groin, what does it cost per linear foot? Maybe it depends on how fat the base of it is. So do you have anything to add to that?
Dick, precisely. We were given a number, but we don't know what the formula is to apply that number to. And last week, I sent out another inquiry asking if we get more information. I did not get a response. I did not follow up again. I just made a note that tomorrow morning I will send something off, seeing if I can get some more definition on it, because it once again seems like a great option, but we need more definition, and tomorrow morning I'll have something off on it.
Okay. Then the other thing, I think we sent this around by email. FEMA has initiated some type of study for the whole Connecticut coastline to understand how storms affect erosion and so forth, and they're apparently doing some on-site surveying along the coast in Fairfield.
Right.
And one of the topical areas is with respect to the groins that we have now. Do
Right.
the groins help the sand stay in place?
Right.
So Don and I went to the Fairfield Historical Society trying to look for some pictures over time to see if we can get an idea of how that happened. And we did glean some information, but then it got to be 4:00 and we left, so we have to go back and keep looking through all those interesting but maybe not relevant pieces of paper and photographs from way back when. We're trying to. Yes, Peter.
I'm sorry. Please continue. I interrupted you. I'll wait till you finish. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we're trying to find some photographs that will compare the shoreline and the sand elevations before the Army Corps nourished the beachfront there in I want to say the 60s, but I'm not sure if it was the 60s or the 70s. And then simultaneously, Peter Wiswell is going to look in his Milford storage area to see if he can find something about the shoreline there. So maybe we'll be able to gather something to share with the FEMA people. They're actually having some contractor do it, but Becky did reach out to that contractor, and they said, "Oh, well, thanks for reaching out. We'll try and keep you in the loop. You keep us in the loop." So that's going on, but that's a long-term thing. Peter?
Dick, on that point, once again, for what it's worth, I'm fairly certain I have what you're looking for. I have not been able to locate it. I have a couple more places to look next week, and I will look. I know what it looked like 50 years ago, 60 years ago. I just have to find the photographs, and just as important, I want to locate that report that was prepared by, what was the gentleman's name?
Professor Bain?
Stanky or something
Stanky.
like that.
Tom
Right.
Stanky. He was the director of conservation.
I want to say he was the author of the report from, call it the 70s, that discussed how the sand from the reef supplemented the sand along the beach, and how the ultimate loss of the sand from the reef was the trigger that brought on a lot of the ultimate erosion, and how putting in the groins would mitigate that to a certain extent. And I think it was Tom Stanky that did the report, and it was a pretty exhaustive report with a lot of resources referenced, other reports referenced. I want to say there was a professor from Williams that he relied on for a lot of information who had a summer home on the beach. So if there's a way to research...
That may be Professor Bain. That may be Professor Bain that Rick Grauer refers to, because
Right.
Williams College sounds familiar.
It does,
from
yes,
that.
it does.
Are you?
What was the last name again?
Baine. Bain.
Dick, I think that's the one.
Do you have a sense that Tom Stanky was the instigator for getting the groins built?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know, and
And again,
honestly,
that's all. We have to go back. We have to go back and look at the historical society, because there was one thing there that talked about how, yeah, the Army Corps put sand nourishment in and added 4 more groins to the 2 groins that already exist along the peninsula. So there's
Wow.
information there to reconstruct. Well, that's why it's the history center, right? You got to reconstruct
Yeah.
history. But a lot of
Dick, I may be off base, but I've been scratching my head while I've been looking for these things, and Stanky, Williams Professor, and now Bain seem to stand out. And candidly, my resource is my mother, who you know, who's slipping a little bit in her late 90s now. And
well, you got to catch her at a good moment.
Well, I'm trying. She almost has the names, but I haven't been able to get them yet. But I'm going back to that warehouse again next week, so I'll look. And my apologies for the wild goose chase.
It's okay.
But I've got it. I just have to find it.
Okay. I've got nothing else on that topic, Don.
Okay, that's it. So, any other, you've dealt with your issue, I think, any other final comment, finished? I think, if there's no other issues,
There was something that I can't recall, so no,
Okay.
I have nothing else, Mr. Vice Chairman.
Okay, Dick, do you have any issues you want to bring up? Peter?
I'm sorry?
Any issues you want to bring up?
No, sir.
Okay, then
Then I move that we adjourn the meeting until next month.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Fair.